Well, hey everybody, it's another Aloha Friday here in Hawaii. And who's our guest today, Adrian?
So I have a quick little intro with some background on our guest. So basically, grew up in Kansas and then moved to the Bay Area prior to moving to Hawaii. I went to this school in Kansas, the University of Kansas Medical Center. And some big news, you're going to be starting your master's degree here. I don't know if you've already started it, but at the Hawaii Pacific University. And you came to Hawaii in 2005 as a travel nurse and stayed. So, some things that, that Leigh loves is living in Hawaii, being outdoors and having the ability to surf and hike, active year round, and just never take that for granted. Oh, and you taught yoga for 10 years. That's a fun little fact I didn't know.
Nice.
Well, welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about health and wellness and, a little bit about your journey on how did you get into this industry and how can it serve our community, right?
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. So let's start off with the first question. How did you get into the health and well-being?
Well, I started out in nursing. I've worked 20 years in the hospital setting as crisis nurse, emergency room mostly, and some anesthesia. And so I saw lots of people coming in for different diseases caused by lifestyle changes. And as the years went by, more and more people came in at a younger age. And I really knew that if I could hit people sooner, we would have better outcomes. And so I wanted to help people shift to prevention instead of just disease management. So that's really how the idea of Vitaflow started to grow. And the first thing we wanted to do was bring the benefit of IV therapy into the community so it was easily accessible. I saw this helping athletes and surfers and busy moms and dads and night shift workers. And so that's kind of how it all got started, not wanting people to spend all day in the ER and spend thousands of dollars for something that could help them very fast.
Well, IV therapy is something that Adrian and I are big. We're kind of like the president for the men's hair club. Not only am I the president, but we're members. No.
So we are members. We're members of your Flow Club.
Yeah.
Are the Flow Club. So talk about IV therapy. When you say IV therapy, what does that mean?
So IV therapy is different amino acids, electrolytes, minerals, and vitamins in IV fluid. And so the primary benefit is it's going to absorb better and more efficiently than drinking a glass of water. And same thing with taking oral supplements. When you take a pill, you're only getting about 20 to 30% of absorption because it has to go through your whole GI tract. So when we're putting it directly through the vein, through the bloodstream, you're getting complete absorption. And so therefore, you're maximizing the benefit of each nutrient that you're getting.
Yeah, I was watching a TED Talk video and somebody was talking about like food that we eat. And he had, those floaty tube things that kids use in the pool?
Mm-hmm.
The noodles.
Yeah. The hole down the middle, right? So he said, well, here's you eating, an almond. And you put the almond inside the noodle and it just like, whoop. Yeah. And that's your GI tract. Or your throat to your stomach to your intestines and then out the other end. So what you're saying is that through IV therapy, just like how in the movies or if you've been to the hospital and you've ever had an IV, the absorption rate is greater. I mean, is it? Do you know the specifics on what percentage on the absorption rate versus ingesting it?
Well, I don't like to say 100% on anything. But pretty much you're getting the whole thing. And with oral, it's about 20 to 30%, depending on what source you're reading into. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then, what kind of vitamins are in these IV therapies?
Yeah, so different B vitamins for energy, like B complex, B12, vitamin C, glutathione, which is a strong antioxidant. It can bind to free radicals, so helps with detoxification and even collagen production. There's different amino acids for burning fat, zinc, calcium, magnesium, electrolytes. So lots of different formulas to support immunity, detox, brightening skin, improving mood, athletic performance. And then people come in for various reasons: hangovers, jet lag, skin health, hair health, cold and flu management, weight loss management. age-related chronic illness symptoms as well.
So a majority of your clientele, would you say that they are like following your vision, right? Is to be like proactive. Do you get many people that are like, oh, this is like my last resort, like I've tried everything, and then they come to you for help?
Some acute care or something.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of both. Like everyone's cleared through a medical director. And so some people are coming in for migraines, or, they clench their jaw. So, they're having headaches because their muscles are overused here. We can do like Botox, Xeomin injections here. We got a lot of usage out of IVs with COVID recovery for some people. So some people are coming in for pain, for inflammation that we can help out. But the majority of our clients are healthy. They feel the difference of the IVs. They feel the energy. And so it becomes a regular part of the routine of just staying healthy and feeling good.
I'll share with you with my personal experience. Adrian signing up for all of this stuff, all left and right. And she's like, let's do it. And I'm like, no. And like, I'm very hesitant on stuff. And I think, and so, for me as a client, what helped me manage the evidence is this is not like, I call it like a hippie shop where you have a bunch of people in Indian drawstring pants and wearing Birkenstocks and Save the Whales t-shirt. I forget the comedian who described it, but you guys are nurses. It is connected to a doctor. You guys are medical professionals. The environment is kind of like, very clean and
sterile. They have protocols that they follow.
Yeah. And so talk about that. Why is that something you have to have, or that's something you guys have chosen as part of your business model?
Well, everyone should have that. Yeah, everybody should have it. And, safety is always a number one concern. There aren't a huge list of contraindications, but there are some. And so that's why all the nurses that work at Vitaflow have hospital experience as well. Because instead of just treating your beauty treatment, they're treating you as a whole person. Yeah. And they may pick up on something that you didn't come in for that particular reason, but they pick up on it. And so sometimes we're saying no to people, like, this isn't a good treatment for you, like, because of this and that. So it's important to always have that medical end of it. So it is run the same as a clinic, and we follow all the same protocols as that as well.
I like the fact that you guys check our heart rate, check our blood pressure, make sure we're, not coming in like with a cold sweat and bleeding out our eyeballs and like, yeah, let's do this. And that this is something that, and then Adrian, what's been your experience over the last couple of months that we've been doing this?
Oh, I think we've been doing it more than a couple of months, Tilly. I think like we're coming up on a year.
Are we? Oh, cool.
Yeah. Well, at least I am.
Yeah.
I know I had to originally come because one of our mutual friends, Steph Mariani, had recommended like, hey, before we travel, I was accompanying her to the Grammys.
Yeah.
She wanted to make sure that we were all healthy and full of energy. And I was like, okay, let's try it. And I felt great after my first session. And I didn't get sick in Vegas, and just, had lots of energy for all those parties and, things that we had to do. And so I signed up for the Flow Club to just come and do that on a monthly basis to keep up the energy and feeling great.
Let's talk about those things that are on the screen. Go ahead, Sheen, bring them back. What are those 3 different things that you guys offer? And Sheen will bring them back.
Yeah, so different formulas for IV vitamin drips depending on what your needs are. So we can customize that with different boosters and things. We offer shots too for people who might not want to sit for 30, 40 minutes. Yeah. So we offer like B12 skinny shots. We have a deal coming up on that. There's certain ones you can get IV and certain ones you can get shot. Aesthetically, we offer medical grade microneedling and Xeomin Botox injections for wrinkles. We are bringing on PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma, next month. And antioxidant testing is really just that machine there. You put your palm of your hand on it, and it can measure your carotenoids, which is a type of antioxidant, through your skin tissue. So we like to get a baseline rating because then we're not guessing at where your fruit and vegetable intake is, and we can make a more informed recommendation. So if you're low, we have solutions for that. If you're high, you might not need a lot of money to spend a lot of money on supplements. So we like to take the guessing game out of it. And really, that's the science part, combined with the wellness, where we're trying to use data to keep people motivated and to not guess so much, because the supplement world's kind of the Wild West sometimes. It's unregulated a lot. And so we use that regularly as a tool for us.
All right. Adrian?
Oh, and I was just thinking, like, when we initially started, we did we used the tool. Mm-hmm. And I think it's time to have another reading after almost a year. We'll see what this IV therapy has been doing for our health.
Yeah, we like to repeat that as often as we can, even monthly. And so we can monitor it and make sure you're getting where you want to go, and then you're staying there as well.
Yeah, I think for me, one of the things I liked about it is that, we just, our food system 100 years ago is a lot different than what it is today. And so it's really tough to go to the store or go to, Whole Foods, and get all the stuff and eat what you need. So this is just a nicer way or more convenient way or efficient way to get our body boosted and healthy. I see that more and more people, I think back in the 80s and 90s, people were more interested in, like, what was that guy, Robin Leach, Caviar Dreams and Champagne Wishes.
The lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yeah, lifestyles of the rich and famous. If and he was like overweight and probably had high blood pressure and eating all that rich food. If they were to redo that show today, it would be Lifestyle of the Healthy, and Active would be the show that they would do today, because people's mindsets towards what's really important has changed. Do you find that that's the common thinking of the clients that come to you?
I think it's definitely shifting. I think that was one of the positives that came out of the pandemic, was people started paying attention. So if we're measuring your cellular health and we can keep you here, and if you do get exposed to something or diagnosed with something, you're not coming from back here to try to fight it, And so that's huge. So I work with a doctor that has a scanner as well, and he's an OBGYN. And he had a young woman whose score started to go down, and they couldn't figure out why. Same supplements, nothing had changed. So he went digging. He ordered her a mammogram, and he got a little flack from the insurance in the hospital because she was in her 20s, which isn't typical age for needing a mammogram. But unfortunately, she did get diagnosed with breast cancer. Uh-huh. And so even though it's very unfortunate, the fact that they found that before she had any symptoms whatsoever is amazing. Like, I'm sure all of us have been touched. I've lost 2 friends in their 30s to cancer, one breast and one bone cancer. And so I'm not saying this cures cancer. I'm not saying this prevents cancer, but I'm just saying if we can get your cellular health up here, you're going to be better off no matter what you're exposed to or what happens. And that to me is exciting. And that's really the mission, is that prevention aspect of it.
Well, I agree with you 100%, because cancer is a battle. We know scientifically that cancer exists in everybody. The cells are there. It's just them being activated by your environment, what you're drinking, eating, stress. We also have genetics and stuff like that. But if you can do stuff to counteract it, because something must be going on, because more and more people are dying of cancer-related deaths than they have in the past. So something's changed in our environment.
Yeah. When your carotenoids or antioxidants are chronically low, the research does show, like, if you Google, like, go to PubMed.org and put in breast cancer and carotenoids, you'll see that you're at higher risk for inflammation, heart disease, cancer, diabetes when it's chronically low. And then, unfortunately, the cancers that hit younger people tend to be more aggressive types of cancer, Yeah.
So. I like you guys' method too, because when you go to the hospital, typically I was there for my dad a couple of months ago, and then I was there personally not even 3 weeks ago. And what I find is that, everything is about some kind of drug. It's like whatever you go in there for, the drug is always a drug, or pharmaceutical is always the solution. And you think about it, because I've read up on it, it's just the pharmaceutical industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and their number one clients are the doctors. And so that's all they know. Right. I think in medical school, isn't it like a very small percentage of medical school training has anything to do with nutrition?
Yeah. I didn't go to medical school, but from what I hear, it's 1 or 2 classes only. Yeah.
Very small.
And so, trying to find natural solutions. And the studies are coming. They're just slower as far as like sepsis and IV. There's different things that are starting to come But yeah, that tends to be, and then that has side effects and stuff. And so really taking your health into your own hands, not crazy wild things, but like reasonable things, but just trying to keep your body in that state of health. And that includes prioritizing sleep and, moving your body and getting some vitamin D exposure, and all those things combined really add to that overall package of.
And Vitaflow is also part of the package.
Yes.
So sign up for the Flow Club.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think our approach is a little bit different because we are looking at it two different ways. So if you're coming in for an aging related symptom, and I don't really like the word anti-aging because we're all aging. But age management, yes, we may give you Botox, and yes, we may do microneedling, but we're also going to look at the epigenetics and treat you possibly with a supplement for protecting against sun exposure and for treating those age symptoms on the inside. And so that's kind of the whole package there as well.
Yeah, I know for Adrian and myself, we work out a lot. So we like coming there because it just helps with our recovery and maintaining our really high level of health that we like. Adrian, why did you want to start going there?
Oh, like I had shared, it was, our friend Steph who said that I needed to go. So I was ready for the Grammy weekend with all the parties, and it was going to be very busy. So she wanted to make sure that we all had, we were healthy and had lots of energy. And I didn't get sick, and I had all sorts of energy for all the parties, and I felt great. So
one of the ones we started doing recently was it NAD? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so NAD plus is it's a cellular electron transporter and a signaling molecule. And so it's in all of our cells. It decreases as we age. So it's essential for metabolism and energy and cellular function. It actually helps regenerate glutathione, which I talked about earlier, but it also decreases as we age. And so some of those symptoms is we're just a little bit depleted as we get older. So I always say, like, you don't have to feel and look bad as you age, And so NAD is an experience. It feels different than the other drips. We offer it in a high and low dose IV form, and we include our signature drip with that Vitality to kind of prep the cells. Yeah. And we also offer it in shot form, which is much faster. It's a lower dose. Yeah. And so, we have ongoing specials with that just because it's not as well known as some of the other things. So for people to try it out and see if it's a good fit. Sure. But it's great for energy and great for aging. It actually has been shown to decrease some chronic symptoms of chronic disease. Mm-hmm. And so it's, how did you guys feel after it?
Yeah, I mean, I felt great. I mean, it was like, what about you, Adrian?
Yeah, it was, like going through it, I felt a little off, but then after it was done, I felt really good. I felt like I had, good sleep and great energy, and so I'm looking forward for our next I
look at it, this way with health, acute health. What happens is, like, I forgot the speaker. I think it was this guy named Daryl Hardy. He has a website called Success Magazine or Success or whatever, and he talks about, you take two guys or two gals, over a 40-year period, and every day you make this one small choice, and one person's like, I'm going to have a Snickers, and I have a second Snickers because I'm going to work out today. And the other person's like, no, I'm going to avoid that and do my workout and eat an apple or something like that. And we don't think about those things because there's small, tiny things that we do every day. But then you add it up over a lifetime, 40, 50 years, fast forward 40, 50 years down the road. The other guy with the Snickers is overweight, has hypertension, high blood pressure. And the guy that made the more healthier choices on a daily basis doesn't have all those issues. I read up on this, and I find that Americans, we're actually dying not of old age, but of diseases. Yeah. So that's one of the big reasons we come in is we want to prevent the diseases, because what does it matter if you live to 90 and you have all these diseases and your medicine cabinet is like 10 things of drugs that you're taking. That's what we were going to avoid by doing this now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's lifestyle choice, and so I think, especially this time of year, people are like, new year, new you, but with those extreme choices probably going to give you the benefit long term that you want. So instead of cutting down your caloric intake to 800 or 850, and you can sustain that for a month or two. Cut out 150 and cut out one sugary drink and replace it with a sweet probiotic or something to give that craving. And then over 4 or 5 months, that 10, 20-pound weight loss will be a lifetime instead of just a yo-yo effect, you know? And so
90% of diets don't work.
Yeah, the healthcare system, it's gonna be hard to sustain the amount of lifestyle diseases that are coming in. You know, it's costly, it's hard on people and families, and so yeah, that's why prevention is the hope, and we're doing it. We're getting there.
Okay,
well, before we wrap up, real quick, just I know that you guys are located in Kailua.
Yeah.
And yes, we drive from Kapolei to Kailua.
And it's worth it.
It is now, but like you also offer this a mobile service. So let's quickly touch on that before we wrap it up.
Sure. All the IV drips can be given mobilely, and we'll actually send a nurse out to you. There is a travel fee, and that just goes by mileage. And so you can just give us a call and let us know where you're located. It's just one travel fee. So if you have 3 or 4 people, it's split between everybody. And so it's really great if you want to keep working while you drip, or a lot of people still working from home and they just keep doing what they're doing, and we go in there and do our thing, and it's really convenient.
Yeah, so for you COVID crazy people or conscious people that are all holed up in your home still, we can come out to you. But you know what? I would encourage you, get out of the house, get in the car and take a drive. Kailua is really nice. And
it's a beautiful drive.
Yeah, it's a beautiful drive. And the place that you guys have there is very relaxing, and
thank you.
You know, and all that good stuff. Because I am like a wimp when it comes to needles, so they know me. I need to be pampered and all of that, because I'll be like, but I always have a good experience.
You fake it so well. I didn't know you had a needle phobia.
No, like American, what is it? The blood bank. I'm actually banned because I just get all woozy. I tried it like 3 times, and they said, "Oh, unfortunately, we can't take blood from you anymore because you're gonna be on the floor every time you do it." So,
well, we use really small needles, little pediatric needles, so a little different than the blood bank. So
you guys are like, "Oh, a little pinch," and then boom, it's even less than a little pinch. So we've been going quite a bit, and it's been well worth it. And you know, I always tell people, and we'll leave everybody with this: your number one priority should be your health. Because when you're not feeling well, are you thinking about what's in your checking account? Are you thinking about, you know, anything else but your health when you're very, very sick? So think of that and how you don't want to be there, and do stuff like this. We recommend it and we do it. All right, Adrian, anything else before we wrap it up?
No. We're going to be having, we'll be talking with you later on the radio show.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to having you there too. So our viewers can go and listen this weekend.
Yep. So give them a call or send them an email and do your intake, and we highly recommend get on the Flow Club.
That's right.
Thanks, guys.
Right. Thanks, Sheen. You can go ahead and take us out. All righty.